Hey, what's up guys? This is going to be my PLUSINNO rod review. We've got the PLUSINNO 150 in green, I believe 5 foot, 5.5 foot. This is one of those extendable rods. It's only 20 bucks on Amazon. It comes with all sorts of stuff, including a reel, the extendable rod, everything you need to go fishing. However, I'm going to be using my own hook, my own bobber. Probably cost me less than a dollar. Okay, you can get your own. Do whatever you want. You probably have some sitting around if you've ever fished ever in your life. I'm going to be joined by my co-host, Mr. Dachshund. Mr. Dachshund, he's very good at what he does, which is just sits in the boat, watches me fish. He likes looking at the fish, and then I let him go. Now, the most important thing is knowing how deep and where these fish are. You don't really have to try to find these sunnies. Really, they're called sunfish, but guess what? They don't like the sun. Okay, in the summertime, if you're out there trying to catch them, even early fall, I believe we're in that transitional period now, but it's still kind of hot. So what you want to do is you want to find these fish out of the sun. Look for areas either in the morning where there's more shade, or in the afternoon where there's also more shade, but it's going to be on the opposite side of your lake because the sun is going to be going and setting. And then there's going to be areas that are shaded that were previously exposed to the sun, and the fish just are going to migrate. That's how they work, because they're stupid. They call them sunfish, and they picked my worm off. So anyway, this is kind of the basics of what you want to use. You want to use as small a hook as you can get away with. Now, I don't mean don't use a hook that's like smaller than anything you can see, because then you're going to be catching ridiculously small fish, what we like to call microfish. You don't really want to catch microfish unless you mean to. You want to catch bigger bluegill, so you want to use as small a hook as you can get away with. That's going to be good for a bluegill. It's probably going to be more along the size, I would say, of about 1/32 ounce. That's about right. You want to probably go a little bigger if you know that your lake holds bigger sunnies. So this is what I got. I got this, I believe it's a 132. It was weedless until I weedless it by cutting those things off. I've got a bobber sitting at about 3 feet. They are biting up a little higher than they normally would here. This is about 5 to 6 feet. So I'm going to be pitching not in the tree. Okay. So I'm going to be not pitching in the tree, but under the trees. This is where an adult is going to come in handy, because what a child is never going to be able to do, not for a very long time, and that's going to be to coordinate the weight of that bobber, the weight of whatever you got on the end of that line, which for these sunfish is going to be pretty light. They're not going to be able to coordinate and figure out that I am using this rod as an extension of my body, so I'm going to be pitching it under there. They're going to be getting it in the tree 9 times out of 10. Don't be frustrated. Don't be a dodo brain. That's just how it is. You have to be the wise one. You have to be able to figure that out and do it for them, probably all of the time. Okay, so they picked me off again. This is a pretty common occurrence with these sunfish, because when you get into a big school of them, there's not just 1 or 2. There's about 100, 200 of them. So the smaller guys, they're going to rush over, start picking at it. Sometimes you get lucky, a big bull will see it and he'll snatch it before anybody gets to pick at it. That usually happens in the spawn, before they spawn. Pre-spawn is what we call that, or post-spawn, when you've got males on the bed. That is when it happens, almost exclusively when it happens. So what you want to do is you got to be persistent, keep at it, keep with the fundamentals of having that small piece of worm on that small hook. Remember, I'm fishing in 5 to 6 feet, so I'm going to be right in the middle at 3 feet. These bluegill, if they're above it, they'll go down and get it. If they are below it, they will go up and get it. Always remember that. Always remember, under the trees, under the shade. Oh, I got a nice bite on there, but nothing. Let's try over there in our good spot. It's usually a pretty good spot. Oh, there he is. Smaller. Henny, look. And he's like, I don't want nothing to do with that. Well, alright, whatever. See ya. Oh. He's small. Real small. You go, Henny. So the trick is to know how deep it is. I know it's about 5 feet here on the shore. There is some structure. I've pulled up a tree, but you want to be right about a foot off the bottom. It's kind of where you want to be, because if you're there, then that's where a majority of these fish are going to be hanging out. Sometimes they'll come up top, but it's usually in the evening. So you want to have a bobber. If you bottom fish without a bobber, you're probably going to get stuck. It's going to be frustrating. If you're a 3-year-old, it's going to be really frustrating when you don't catch any fish because you're not in the right part of the water column. And you're going to think that your parents are losers, and they're going to lose their love for fishing, and then they're going to end up being golfers or something worse. I don't know what's worse than a golfer, but there's something worse out there, and it's probably not safe for me to say it on this channel. Henny. Oh. Pulling some drag, boy. Pulling some drag. Oh, shell cracker. Shell cracker. This fish is 9 or more. We're gonna wait for the official. Okay. Kiss it and say goodbye. It's not a bad one. It's not a bad one at all. Right off the deck. It's a nice one. Weird looking eyeball, but a nice one. Alright guys, that is the end of the video. Now this is far superior to the other rods that I've given away, the other collapsible one. I would say by a long shot. This is only the second collapsible rod I've ever owned, as I can't even get it. This is far superior, but it's also only the second one I've ever owned. I'm going to be trying out some more of their products, but I am going to also be giving this guy away with everything you see here shipped to your door. So if you want this rod, like and comment on this video and just say Give me, I don't care, say whatever, say anything. If you legitimately watch this video, say your comment and then say, gimme dat rod. Gimme, Gimme dat, DAT, rod, ROD, and I will be giving this rod away. See you guys later. Subscribe, and if we get 1,000 subscribers, I'll post a video of Henry flying over the water. Right, Henry?